now Zoom talks to you. Zoom now talks to you. That was not expected. Do something else. Not certain podcasters. I'm gonna put my phone on vibrate. I know that. That's what I'm gonna do. And got a little water. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
As good as you are, I'm not. Oh boy. Alright. As I spill water all over myself, looking like a complete bum. Let's get this show on the road. And stretch 1, 2, 3, and all right. Welcome to the Foresight Podcast. I'm your host, David Gordon, better known as DKG72. And today's show, I have a very, very special guest, a supremely talented artist whose work I saw on Instagram and was just really wowed by it. Just wanted to know more about her and more about her, how she got into art and her skills and everything like that. So we want to talk about all that. We're going to have a nice little conversation. And let's introduce to you, because she's already been introduced to me. We're good friends. That we're homies. Dreama D. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, and if you hear like loud banging and stuff, we have construction going on, so this is going to be one of those shows.
If you hear anything loud, I live in Chicago, so
we don't want to talk about that part.
So you know, anything you hear, I live in Chicago. That's my excuse.
Okay, no, that's a valid excuse. That is a valid excuse. So you live in Chicago. How's it going?
It's okay. You know, I'm born and raised here, so you know, it's different for people who are born here versus people who move here. They love it.
As opposed to if you were born and raised there, like you.
Yeah, I'm from here, unfortunately.
Like I know everything, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah. So
you think it's sweet. It's because he got that nice little boardwalk down there.
It's nice if you move here.
Yes.
But if you're from here, it's like, okay, where do I go now?
Well, you know, that's interesting because that's kind of the feeling I think everybody has if they're born and raised somewhere. It's nice if you move here, but you know, I've been here for too long.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is. Like, is it just our natural? You think that's just our natural desire to
branch out and to explore? I think that is. And then you know, you see the good and the bad of a city. You see the ugly. And people who come here have like rose-colored glasses, and they only see good. So that's what that is.
Yeah, I think we might be on to something there. We might have figured out something. Because you don't think about those types of things. So being born and raised in Chicago, they had to have an influence on your journey. How did that work out?
You know, I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with Chicago. I can't really say Chicago is like known for the arts. We don't have like a big art community here. I wouldn't say that. It's okay.
Oh, wow.
You know, we got the Art Institute, and then I live in Bronzeville, Hyde Park area. We have a few, you know, art places, but it's not really known for the arts. I wouldn't say that. Okay. We're known for food.
Taste. I'm looking forward to the taste coming back. But you know what? You got like the Art Institute, like you said, and I would have thought the art community would be huge in Chicago.
Like I live up the street from a few galleries, Gallery Gachard, Little Black Pearl. I live down the street from the DuSable. That ain't really, that's not really. So we have a few places. It's up and coming, but it's not really. Chicago, I wouldn't say it's really known for art.
Like just in that regard. Well, how did you end up going into being a fine artist, being a painter, all of that type of thing? I've done art since I was little, since I was a baby, 3. Mm-hmm. And when I graduated out of 8th grade, my dad went and registered me to one of the top high schools in Chicago. You're not from Chicago, are you? No, I'm from St. Louis, but I come to Chicago a lot.
Lane Tech. So he went and just registered me there, and it was cool. And he was like, I put you into majors in high school, and he was like, I put you into the art program because he knew that I loved art. So I was an art major in high school, and then I said I wanted to be an architect or something along those lines. That's what I wanted to do when I graduated. But I did not go into that. I actually went to the Art Institute. So I studied fine art. So I studied fine art in high school, and I studied fine art in college. I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts. I didn't do anything with art after I graduated from college, undergrad. I actually went into business. Like I went into finance.
Okay. Yeah.
I got my MBA with a concentration in project management. I started doing finance, and I was a finance manager at the Museum of Science and Industry recently. Okay. And I just recently actually left to pursue art full time. So I just did that last month. So I was doing finance for 12 years.
Okay. Well, I always say it's important for artists to be versed in business anyway. So I think that was almost a natural move. Mm-hmm. I don't know about spending 12 years of finance, but
it's what pays the bills. But it is good to know the business side of it. When you go into business for yourself, I know how to run payroll. I know how to, do all of my tax documents. I know how to balance books and things like this. So I think that's helpful.
No, it is, because those are things that I'm finding myself having to learn as we go on this journey of building businesses and things like that. And I'm like, oh, I wish I went to school for this.
Yeah.
Now I'm in school.
Yeah, a lot of experience that I got on the job is very beneficial to me now that I'm into business for myself.
Yes. So take me through the kind of the process of you going into being in the finance realm, in the business realm, and then deciding, okay, all right, you know what, that's it. I'm going back. I'm about to do my art. Was it kind of a gradual build where you just kind of, on Saturday or when you're off work, you just do a painting or two leading up to it? Or how did that go?
So this is not an overnight thing. People saw me talking about it, I guess at the beginning of this year, but it's been 6 years in the making. So I've always done art, but I started doing it seriously about 6 or 7 years ago. I was like, what started me was somebody invited me to go to a sip and paint, right? And so I went to a sip and paint, and my painting, of course, it's not a competition, but my painting ended up being, everybody was like, oh my God, how were you able to do it so easily? And the instructor was like, oh my God, how were you able to do it so well? I'm like, well, I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts. That sparked something like, you know what, I can do this and make money off of this. And it's something I love. So I think doing something that you love first and foremost, you gotta have a passion for it. But if you can make some money on it, why not? Right?
Of course.
So that inspired me 6 years ago, I started putting it out there on social media. I started posting on Facebook and Instagram, and people started reaching out to me. Hey, is this for sale? I'm like, I'm going to start selling art. So I started that way, and I would do it. I would get off work, come home, and paint until 1 or 2 in the morning, paint on the weekends. And so a couple of years ago at the museum, I turned my office at the museum into like my art studio. People would come into my office and there would be paintings everywhere, shipments, boxes, everything. I was doing my art in the museum. And then the pandemic happened, you know. So we were working from home. That made it easier for me to start doing more and more art. I bought big printers and stuff for me to print my prints out. It just started over. The art started to be my full-time job, and it felt like my job was my part-time job. Like my job started being my supplemental income, and the art was the, you know, main income. So
primary.
For the past year, I have been focusing more and more on art, and the job started getting in the way of me doing this. So I was like, you know what? I am able to sustain myself off of this. So I'm going to go ahead and take a leap of faith and do this full time.
Well, that's dope. And that's an interesting journey, part of your journey, that it was so gradual over that period of time. People think that things just happen like that.
That's what people see. People saw me at the beginning of this year saying, you know what, I'm about to leave corporate America. And they think that it's, you know, I just started doing this and 3 months later I can quit. No, it's been a 6-year process. I've been building up like my followers. My Instagram following is not that great, but I have like 12,000 followers on Facebook. You know what I mean? So that's not an overnight process. It took me 7 years to get to the point where I can sustain myself. So, and I tell people, ask me how I do it, you have to stay consistent and you have to keep at it, you know.
No, you definitely do. And that's I think one of the hardest things for creators to do is to really just stay consistent in that. And understanding that your consistency is going to build slowly over time. And you know, and to understand you're really in the middle of your build. You might not even be in the middle of your build. You might still be at the foundation of your build.
I still feel like I'm at the beginning. I don't even feel like I'm at, you know what I mean? This is still the beginning.
Yeah. So you're, you know, 6 years in, it's like you have to start somewhere, and then you have to be patient and you have to kind of stay the course. That's what I've learned and seen. And it's pretty much, it seems like that's what everybody has been going through. Well, like, I know there were times, like for me, when I'm building, because I'm like you, just beginning stages, to be honest. Even though it's been some years in the stages. There were some times that, you know, you kind of just get that, like, man, this ain't, I don't know, what am I doing? How do you deal with that?
I think for me, I meditate. A lot of meditation, a lot of, I try to find motivational content on like YouTube, educational content, like how to market better to your target audience. When I feel discouraged, like, oh man, no one, because the thing about this is it's in waves, and I'm sure you know that, right? Like, you'll have a month where you have 300 customers, and you'll have a month where you have 5, and there's no rhyme or reason. You just have to keep at it. So during those times where I feel discouraged and like, oh my God, what am I doing? No one is buying for me. I try to educate myself on something that I don't know. Like recently when I was in a slump, I educated myself on oil painting so I could pick that back up. You know what I mean? So I just anything that push me to the next level. I don't dwell in it. I use it as an opportunity to learn something that I'm not proficient in.
So basically, I'm not the only one that tries to create their way out of the park.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of similar. You know, I'm trying to look at somebody and gain from them knowledge-wise, content-wise, just something. Or I'll just kind of shut down and just dig into the mind and just try to create my way out. Well, let's come up with some stuff. Let's do something. But, you know, and like you said, 1 month I could be riding high on the hog, and then the next month is so I'm going to save that money.
Yeah. I was watching this dude on YouTube when I was learning more like different techniques with oil painting. And he said, you know, when you are doing art or whatever you're doing at full time, you have to treat it like a job. You know, when you have a 9-to-5 job, whether you like it or not, you got to go to work. You got to produce something. So as a creative, even when you are in a slump, you have to treat it like a job. You got to do something. You can't just do nothing, you know, because when you don't work, you don't eat. So that's my thought about it. Yeah.
And I always find now like my website is like okay, well look, let me picture with a website. Let's do something with that.
Right.
It's like you just gotta find something to mess with to get back into that place where you're creating, and then obviously checks or whatever start coming when they come in. Yeah. It's just funny because, you know, this is the reason why I like to talk to artists on pod, and the reason why I do the pod is because I like to build that community and talk with artists and go through our process, you know, talk about the process, find out we're not so different. We have similarities, and these are the types of things that I think will help artists in the long run as well. And it's one of those things. I think it's super important. Just like I think your subject matter is super important. I'm just be honest with you. I thought I was black.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, my subject matter is black. I'm black and I paint black people.
I love it. I love it. I completely. I champion it. Was it kind of a lack of representation, or was it just I don't know no better? Because for me, people always say, "Well, were you inspired by?" No, I just didn't know no better.
I know better, and I do. It's not that I don't know any better. It's not that. It's just that's what I had to examine myself. You know what I mean? Like, hey, are you doing this because you feel like there's a lack of representation? I think at this point in 2021, no, there is not a lack at this point. There are so many Black artists. It's an explosion right now. So that's a good thing. And I do it just because that's what I love to do.
Well, that's what I mean, but I don't know no better. I didn't know any of that. I'm representing.
That's what I love to do.
That's the neighborhood I'm from, the people I'm around. That's what I create. And somebody say you create what's in your environment.
Right.
So, and that's kind of what I mean by don't know. You don't know any other way to go about it.
That's just what's inside of me. That's what comes out. even when I try to deviate from it, it still ends up looking like a Black person.
Oh, yeah, that joke haunts me. My friends love that joke. He look like a brother down the street. No, that's Bob. No, that's not Bob.
So I mean,
so what are the themes that you like to paint when you're talking about us? Because we have a different creative language that we like to talk, talk about. I'm science fiction, fantasy type of art.
I see that, yeah.
But what about you? Because I have an idea, but I want to kind of get your input, your take.
Okay, for me, I feel like my focus, I like portraits. I feel like that's kind of my focus. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm trying to. So this is the thing with me. I was formally trained, at the Art Institute. This is where you're supposed to. The light is supposed to hit here, right? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to break out of the realism. I wanted to not look so, and I'm not a hyper real artist, but I feel like I want to try to do more of expression type of art with my portraits because it looked like a person, and I wanted to be more creative. And I think because I was formally trained, that is stuck in my brain. It's supposed to look like a person. Then the light is supposed to be here and it's supposed to do this. And, I'm trying to break out of that. So yeah.
I was going to say, I definitely got that you were a people person and that was the focus, just kind of drawing upon people that experience. But then it's interesting because when I'm looking at your art, I can see where you're trying to get away from being so ultra realistic. Yeah. Not ultra, like you said, you're not hyper realistic, right? Artist, but you're really trying to expand out beyond that boundary of just okay. Well, yeah, that's 1-to-1. That looks like that. I'm drawing. We'll just say just a guy. I'm drawing this guy, and it looks just like him. Right. But trying to kind of go deeper into what that might be.
Yeah.
What was it that kind of got you on that path? Was it just the fact that you're like, I'm just tired of doing the formal thing, or was it always something that you were like, I think you know what? I understand you guys, but I want to do this.
It was the first one. I'm kind of tired of doing the realism thing. I wanted to look more. I don't even know what the word to say about it. I just wanted to come more fluid, and fluid. More of like off the top of my head instead of this is what it's supposed to look like. If that makes sense.
No, it does. Is it? I always like to do things. I like to make little adjustments, tweaks to myself, and again, it's about keeping yourself engaged, challenging yourself. Do you think that that's part of what you're doing? It's kind of that personal challenge to yourself.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's definitely a challenge for me to create out of my brain versus what I see, versus using a reference. That is the hardest thing for me, and that's what I'm trying to move towards. And I think that my audience responds to what comes out of my head better than painting something that I see. I find that the response is greater to those types of pieces.
What I've been doing and what I've seen with not just your art, but with a lot of artists in general is like I may start with a reference piece, but then my whole purpose is you're just the base. You give me the idea, but I have to I'm almost you know, there was a point when I was, a lot of artists was like, well, if you draw a gun, it's got to look like a gun. It's got to look exactly like a gun. And it's like, yeah, but what's the fun in that?
Yeah.
And I've never seen a P-38 laser blaster before. So, you know, how do you make that? You know, so I just try to build upon what I'm seeing, but then add in my, just add in my flavor. I hate when things are just always one to one. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to, even if I'm doing a one to one, I might, you know what, let me throw in a little extra doodad here or something like that. Or if it's even a one to one on the person, let me just do a little swooshes or something just to be different. But when I'm doing that, what I find is it really kind of keeps my mind like, look, I'm looking for things. Do you look for specific things that you want to bring out and change when you're like doing a person or a painting of somebody or some people? Or is it kind of more spontaneous? Like you just get to a point like, okay, let me do this.
No, most of the art that I do is commissioned. So can you paint my cousin? Stuff like that. But things that I do on my own, I do look for, I have an idea about what I want to do, and I look for like inspiration or reference. And I do take certain aspects of the reference or the inspiration to change it into something of my own.
Mm-hmm. Is it one like, I know when I'm doing that, it's almost like RoboCop. You just like, I'm just already like, I'm looking at the picture like, okay, yeah, the hair, changing the hair.
Yeah, I do. Changing the hair is not gonna be this. This is just like you said. This is just the base, but it's gonna turn into something. You can tell where I got it from, but it'll turn into something that is from me.
That I was like that. That's exciting to me when I get that opportunity to kind of just to do that and not just, like you said, draw my cousin.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, they pay me to do it, I'll do it, but
yeah. It doesn't look like me, no problem. Say no more.
So what? When people ask me to paint their cousin, I always say that I give them a glamour shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because people see themselves as different than what you see. And I try to paint people how I think I know they see themselves. So I'll give them a little razzle dazzle.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing too. I don't try. Even I'm doing characters. I'm trying to draw you in a specific light. I'm not trying to make you feel.
I don't make people feel bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of a responsibility of artists to not draw people in a unflattering light? Or
no, it's not. It's
okay.
not. It's not. I don't know. You know what I mean? Is it unflattering or is it real? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question.
If somebody give you a picture and you paint it exactly like it is that unflattering or is it real?
To be honest, it might be a little bit of both.
You gave me an unflattering picture. So is that it? Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of and that's part of the problem. Like somebody will give me a picture and the picture's just not the best picture. So that's the reason why I don't want to do one-to-one.
So is it the responsibility of the artist to say that is right? Hey, do you have another reference of this person? Do you say that, or do you? That's the thing.
It's tough. It is so tough because you have a point. You have a like, but how do you have that conversation? Like, it's hard to have that conversation. Be like, hey, man, this picture you gave me of your wife is
What I do is I say, do you have a clearer picture? This isn't clear enough.
Oh, okay. See, the gymnastics.
Or do you have a different angle? Do you have them on a different angle? I say something like that. Or I need something with more of a light. Like I say that.
That makes a lot of sense. Because yeah, that's just a tough conversation. I think how you approach it is probably the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm. I have had situations where, not for portraits, but for other things, people, I try to steer away from people who have concepts and want me to paint their concept that's in their head. I try to stay away from that because what you vision and what I come up with is not going to be the same. And I had a situation where somebody, I had to tell her, that's just not going to be a great painting.
Right. That's a hard conversation to have, when somebody has this idea and they're like, that's a 14-point perspective. That's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, but you can do it.
I tell them, send me, Google 3 examples of the look and feel that you're going for and send it to me. If they go through all of that and send me 3 examples, then I'll do it. But most people don't do it, and the conversation die off.
Yeah, I mean, that's just real, and that's just part of the business of doing art.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what we're gonna do, Dream, is we're gonna take a quick little ad break, and I gotta pay some bills. I gotta let people know about. I gotta shield some of my wares. But when we get back, we want to talk about more about this art thing, because I think we're on to something. I definitely want to continue just kind of this inside baseball type of look into what it is to be an artist in this modern age.
Okay.
So, with that said, it's the Foresight Podcast, and we will be right back. Hey, what's up, fam? DKG72 here, and I wanted to talk to you guys about Patreon. If you know, at the end of every video, I always ask you guys to head over to Patreon, pick a tier, and choose, and your monthly donations help us, the studio, create more and more great content for you guys to watch and listen to and read and enjoy. This month, I just added on a new tier, which is our $15 Foresight Gang tier. Gang. I always wanted to do that in the video. Anyway, with the $15 Foresight Gang tier, you're going to get 15% off the merch store on foresightstudio.com. You also get the Foresight Podcast 1 week ahead of its drop date. You also get a free black and white pinup downloadable that you can download every month. And yeah, it's just a cool tier. Now, there are the other tiers, like there's the $5 tier, there's $10 tier, where you get like 5% off, 10% off. And then there's the $20 tier, in which you get a whopping 25% off. So head over to patreon.com, DKG72 Comics, and check out all the tiers and figure out which one works for you. And just remember, the $15 tier and the $20 tier, you'll get the Foresight Podcast 1 week ahead of its drop date. All right, guys, it's your boy DKG72, and I'm out. Peace.
Do you need to reimagine your love? Relax and set your mind free with the Black Love Chronicles coloring book from Foresight Publishing. Color in the spaces of love, lust, commitment, and embrace true passion with the Black Love Chronicles, available on Amazon. Get your copy and recolor your happiness today.
Yo, what up, fam? Not gonna hold you guys long. We're gonna get right back to the video. I just wanted to take the minute to talk to you about the Black Love Chronicles coloring book. If you guys don't know, I have created a new coloring book through Foresight Publishing. The Black Love Chronicles is an adult coloring book. It is basically a bunch of romance comic book covers created with brand new, up-to-date situations that we all are going to be involved in our love lives at some point, probably. So definitely go check that out. I think you guys will enjoy it. And the link is in the description. Go hit that up. And back to the video. We're back. Welcome back, guys. Or welcome back to us. Welcome back to the show. We're back. And just having fun talking with Dreama, and really we're bonding over being from the Midwest, not being bothered by the heat. I know you said you were formally trained, but
Whatever that means.
What was it during that training, and then as you move further in life, how did you end up onto the style? And you already said it's evolving, but how did you end up onto the style that you have now? Because I think you've already kind of moved away from trying to be so realistic, but I think you're still in the process. But how are you, going? How is that process going, or how did you get to the point that you are and move forward? Moving forward, getting to the point where you want to be.
I just think through practice, a lot of ugly paintings that I don't post. Maybe I should post the ugly stuff, but I don't even consider that I have a style at this point. I still don't say that. I really just think I'm still, I don't know. I don't know. I might, because some people will come to me and say, "Hey, I saw something come across it. I immediately knew that you had painted it." And I'm like, I don't know if I have a style at this point. I think I'm still trying to develop my style because I have so many different things that I do. I do abstract, you know what I mean? I do the portraits, I do it, so I don't know. I think I'm still trying to figure out what my style is, to be honest.
Do you find you stay in your head a lot with this? Like I do a lot of mental gymnastics when I'm like with my art. Like I'm always I can't turn it off. I'm always thinking about writing something, how I'm drawing something. I'm always thinking about something creative. There's not a time I don't ever think about it. I can't stop. Do you feel that you kind of are the same way, or is it different?
I do, especially now. I feel like I'm always thinking about what I could be doing for art. And I think that even though that's great, it can become unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like, I think we need to, and I have artist friends and we're all the same. All we think about is art, for real. And I think we should, there's another world out here outside of art. And we have to be able to think about things that are not art related all the time.
But I tried.
I do too. I will be out at a bar thinking about what I'm going to paint next.
True story. I have been at a strip club and I saw somebody, and just how boisterous and expressive this person was, they immediately became a character in my head. I had a design, the whole 9 yards. Can we actually get away?
I don't know because I was out last night for a drink and I was showing somebody art on my Instagram. How? I don't know. I think if this is something that we love, that's what you think about, That's it's what I love. Like, I genuinely love it. And that's what I just ran around. I had to drop off some art, some paintings and stuff like that. And then I went to Michael's to buy some stuff to do my next piece, my next idea.
The next one and the next one and the next one.
Yep.
It's always something in consideration. I've heard that this is one of the reasons why I have a hard time sleeping is because my mind is overactive. Do you ever have those like those issues? And then like my dreams is like the weirdest.
Yeah. I feel like that's why my name is Dreama, because I have the weirdest dreams. But I don't have a hard time sleeping. That's one thing I'm gonna make sure I get my sleep. Every night. I don't care. If I'm not sleeping, it's because of something else. And that's very rare. I make sure I get at least 7 hours of sleep a night.
That's good. That's good. I'm getting better. I've been up and down. And I'm actually been known to, I thank God for Google Notes, because now I can just wake up and write down concepts or
from your dreams.
Sometimes it'll be or sometimes it's not even the dream. I'll just be like in a restful state and I'll just be thinking. And then something, I'm like, oh, that's great. Oh. And then I finally wake up and I've been doing that like for the past 4 weeks now. That's kind of become a thing. And I like talking to artists about that, because I like just seeing, well, is your mind that overly active, or or am I crazy?
You're not. I think everyone's mind is overly active, but about different things. Like I have friends who are in real estate, and all they think about is real estate and what they could be doing and what houses to sell and this and that. And we just so happen to have a fun thing that we can think about.
That is true. That's true. I think that's a good way of looking at it. But that's fun. That's that mental aspect is always something. It's something else. I've seen some artists who be like, bro, you need help. Someone like, bro, you need help. You might need to talk to somebody.
No, I don't think so.
Man, there. I'm sorry, that's not a weird story. The story is clear. The story is so clear. Yeah, but to get the inspiration where they came from, I know somebody to know somebody.
Nah, you're normal.
So you said you were getting into oil painting. What are your preferred styles, or preferred mediums, I should say, to do your work?
You know what? I work with mostly acrylic because it's fast, you know, and I am so I have an idea and I need to do it now. Like I need to do it now and finish it now. Is that you? I need to do this now and finish it now, or I'm not going to do it, you know? So, and I do acrylic for that, but oil is so much more. It's just like, when I paint with oil, I'm like, why do I ever use acrylic paint? It's so beautiful, but it takes so long to
dry process. Oils, I'm not the cleans artist, so with the paint on me, so that's why I avoid oils. I use acrylics and watercolors a lot, and of course, the past year or so, because of the pandemic, I've been working a lot more, almost 100% digital. It's just I'm a weirdo. I use Adobe Illustrator to do my art. People are like, how in the hell do you do that? So I'm like,
I just got a iPad Pro last week because I wanted to try to start doing this. Well, I can.
Yeah, I don't think it's like you're gonna try to start. You're gonna do it.
Just get familiar with it. Maybe I should say that.
Yeah. Did you get the pencil? How do you like the pencil so far?
The pressure was a little bit weird to me when I was trying to use it with a specific paintbrush in Photoshop. I got the other one too. What's the Lord? Don't give me the line. What's the other?
Oh, Procreate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Procreate. I haven't tried with that yet.
Mm-hmm. I don't like them. They don't make stuff for any other platform but Apple. Like, forget y'all.
Who?
Procreate.
You don't like them because what?
Because they don't make it for any other OS operating system other than Apple. They're like Apple exclusive.
Oh.
Like, forget y'all. Because I'm not, even though I like the Apple Pen, I'm not, it's not enough to draw no.
Mm-hmm.
So
I haven't used it that much to know, so we'll see.
Everybody that has used Procreate, though, they say so. They love it so far. So, as, you know, we have beef. Yeah, plenty of beef now. y'all spread the love. No, we gonna just Apple.
It seems I used a little bit to try to do like a little abstract piece in Procreate, and I like the different brushes and stuff that they had way more than Photoshop.
Yeah, especially on the iPad, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I also think that Apple purposely doesn't optimize for Adobe products because they hate Adobe, and Adobe doesn't seem to understand they're in an abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, Microsoft is like, everything's optimized for you. And Adobe's like, I don't care. I'm like, oh my goodness. So now that you're in the digital world.
I'm sorry, my phone keeps flattening down.
No problem. Now that you're in the digital world, are there some things that you want to do? Or are you going to do, you know, like are you going to get into NFTs or any of that type of stuff?
I looked at it. I need to fully, before I try to jump into something, I need to really understand what I'm doing as far as that goes. But I briefly looked into, you know, how to go about that.
Does it seem like, okay, because here's the thing, because it seems to be two different camps nowadays. It seems to be people that are like, it's the greatest thing in the world. And then there's everybody else is like,
I don't know, because it's like, it seems to me from what I read about it, luck, I guess. Can you say, like, what is, I don't know. I have to look into it a little bit more. I'm like, are you lucky and people come and purchase your stuff for thousands of dollars, or what
it seems that it is a way for people that have been primarily digital artists that have built up a following to finally be able to get some monetization off of their work.
Okay.
That's what it seems to be to me. The issue, I think, and the problem comes in is that it seems that now there's a whole bunch of people that are just running in and doing something and calling it art and then trying to put it on the chain and make a quick buck. You know, and then you have actual artists who are coming in, but they're benefiting from it in the sense. I know Eric Alexander, Tony Perrier. They just did they did Concrete Park NFTs, and those went well. Those sold out, but I don't know. I don't think they made billions of dollars off them, but I think they did sell out. Now, the one thing I will say that I like about the NFTs is that depending on who you do it through, from what I understand, is that every time your art is resold, the digital art, you get a cut. You get a cut.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I like that because I think that's kind of the issue in the fine art world.
Right.
And I'd love to get your opinion on that, because once you sell something and then somebody sells it at a inflated price,
Mm-hmm.
how does that even how do you feel about that type of stuff?
Well, I don't know if it's happened to me yet. I'm not a famous artist, so not yet.
Well,
So,
people are always looking for the next one.
I mean,
So that's kind of the thing. People start collecting and trading, and you won't even know.
how do I feel about that? I mean, I think for me being in business,
Mhm.
it's kind of business. Unless as the artist you specifically have some type of contract or agreement with this person once you sell the art to them, that you still retain some of the rights or whatever. I mean, you sold it to them. I guess I think artists need to. I don't know.
And that is the problem, because I agree with you in that sense. It is, but that's the old. But don't you think that's like the old model? Don't you think we can figure out a way to make it improve it?
Yes, we can, and we should. I think artists should definitely, when they're selling original artwork, have some legal, whatever, saying that if you sell this, I still retain part of the rights to it, and I get a portion of the profit, or you can't sell this. If I sell it to you, you cannot resell this, or I will take legal action against you. I think we don't think about those types of things when we sell art, because like I said, I'm not a famous artist, but who knows? Somebody might see something in, and somebody might see something in the painting that I sold 3 years ago to somebody, and now they want to purchase it for $5 million. I don't have any rights to that at this point, because I was not thinking that I will be a famous artist like that.
Yeah, it's part of my pushback. I was going to say, man, you just said somebody will hit you up, say, hey, I saw a painting and it looked good. I know it was yours automatically. So
they do that. Mm-hmm.
So and because I've had people hit me up and say, so I was like, yeah, I knew it was you as soon as I saw it. I have artist friends. As soon as I see the work, so and so did that. So I think there's something to that, and maybe it is something like that. But then, is it a possibility that may drive away sales, drive away fans?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm. I think like the people who follow you, like for me, the people who follow me and love my art, they love the art and they love me as a person. It's me. They're purchasing me. And I think if I was to sell a painting and then say, hey, there's this agreement that you can't resell, they're like, yeah, whatever, here. Just give me the art. You know what I mean? I don't think they feel no type of way about me having an agreement that they can't resell or something like that. I don't think so. I think people who, unless it's somebody who has ill intention, I think most people don't.
Yeah, I don't think most people even would understand that type of, but maybe that is the thing. Maybe it's a third party mediator that mediates that you sell through. Yeah. It's so many possibilities there.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to kind of put your business mind because that is, like I said, the thing with NFTs that I just really, really like is just that ability to automatically receive a commission off of each sale or movement of the art.
Yeah, now you said that, I'm really gonna look into it.
Yeah, that was the one. That's the one thing. No matter what anything else, it's that democratization that really is is something to really be attracted to, and just like, okay, how can I make this work? But I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I'm like, let me see how this goes, and it seems like it's in bubble stage right now. So it's going to have a tumble, and then maybe jump in when it's finally went back at its new ground floor. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Does that stuff stress you out?
What?
This business side of being an artist? Not at all.
Nope, I don't get stressed out. Nothing about it stresses me out.
How do you do that?
I think I have just like a calm type of personality anyway, you know. And I don't get stressed out because I just love doing this. I got stressed out on my 9-to-5 job. I couldn't stand some parts of it. I'm serious. There is nothing about this that I can't stand. Not the customer service, not the shipping and packing, the doing, nothing. I
think people get surprised when I say that it's the whole package I enjoy. Like it's because, like you said, it's nothing like you're doing something for yourself, and you're doing it's because you're doing something for yourself. You're not punching a clock or
Yep.
You know, I'm HR.
I'm HR. I'm customer service. Before working for other people, I hated answering the phone and talking to people and stuff like that. Now I talk to people all day about their painting, or if they have a shipping and delayed and this and that, I'll talk to you all day. I don't mind because it's, for me. But when it was for someone else, I couldn't stand it.
Yeah. She just had a client hit me up. They're like, "Hey, David, we got some more changes. Just charge us accordingly." I'm like, "See, it works." But so, I guess a lot of people kind of that may not be in that situation. They broadcast that type of idea that it's got to be stressful. What was it like when you first explained it to people that you were just like, "Oh, no, this is I love every aspect of it." Did they kind of look at you weird, like?
She lying. Those people get on your nerves. You hear a lot of artists complaining about people who try to like either shortchange them, insult them. You know what I mean? And this and that. I have been so lucky. I don't get that.
You know what? I've gotten that, but it doesn't bother me. I mean, because at the end of the day, the end result is going to be, I ain't going to do work with you. So you say whatever you want to say. The price is the price. The time is the time. Take it or leave it.
Right.
And I think those people are always surprised because there's a lot of gaslighting when you're dealing with those types of people. And they're always surprised when my response is, "I don't know what to tell you." Right.
Yeah, you hear about people who like they'll tell somebody the price and they'll insult them. It's not worth that anyway. I'm been blessed and lucky not to have nobody to do me like that.
Yeah, like I said, I'll just look at it. Price. If you don't believe it's worth it,
right?
You don't want my money,
right?
You don't want my art. You want my art. The price is the price.
Yeah.
And like you said, like we were talking about previously, your fans love you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they love your art. So
yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You just had a showing recently too. Or not recently. And I was reading that in your bio that you did a showing.
Well, not recently, like in the last year. No, 2 years ago.
Well, we don't count 2020. So.
Right. Last year, I had art at the Museum of Science and Industry on display. And I was like, they do this it's called Black Creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And where they feature Black artists from all over the country. And then they have a gala at the end of the exhibit. And I was live painter at the gala.
Oh, wow.
That was last year. The year before that, I was the feature artist. I painted a chair, and they had like a silent auction.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So how was that? How are those types of events? How do you respond? How do you live in that part of the sea of the job?
I enjoyed them. It came easy because I worked there. Right. And friends with the event organizer. So I mean, I was a shoe-in. They said, "Hey, we know you do art. Do you want to do this for us?" Yeah. I enjoyed the events. It gave me some exposure.
Is being in galleries or touring into different galleries? Will that be kind of one of your goals now that the world is opening back up, or is that?
Yeah, I said one of my goals is to submit more art into jury art competitions, just to get myself out there more. Because social media, but I want to cross more into like the fine art, community, and attract, a different clientele.
Mm-hmm. No, that's but that goes back to being a business person.
Mm-hmm.
Ostensibly, I'm categorized as a comic book artist.
Mm-hmm.
Because I work in comics, I do coloring books and all that type of stuff. But I like to cross over into that fine art realm. Mm-hmm. Because I like to try to cultivate a different clientele. Mm-hmm. So, and I've seen like Bill Sienkiewicz, he does it all the time. He draws color. He'll draw a comic book, and then the next thing you know, he'll just do this beautiful acrylic watercolor mashup, and then just be like, "Good God Almighty!" Mm-hmm. It's like that too. Mm-hmm. And I saw that, and it's interesting that I see, when talking to you, that's kind of the goal for you as well, is to really kind of
gallery quality, because like what I do now is. It could be like kind of urban art, street art, you know what I mean? But I want to that's why I said I wanted to get out of the portrait-y realism type into more of fluid and loose gallery quality, Yeah.
Now, I will say this, street urban, it's a lot of street artists that have moved over to that gallery. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And street art. Yeah, street art. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because when people are doing these, I guess you call them modern contemporary type homes, or the decorating, whatever, the street art fits better than like the ultra traditional. Goes fine art.
Right. And I ain't talking about that neither, and that ain't.
That's not it either.
No.
What about things like print and like would you put like putting out a book of your art be on the table as well? Or you got exclusive. I would love, say no more.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the idea that you're thinking of these routes. Like right now, I put my art on. I got shirts,
bags. I even started doing mugs. I don't know if you saw that, but I started doing polymer clay mugs.
Oh, I haven't seen the mugs yet. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I do polymer clay mugs. But that one it takes a lot of time. I'll just say that.
Do you find yourself because this is what I do sometimes. I find myself sometimes compartmentalizing some of the art. Like some of it is going to be on. I'll put this on everything, and others is like, okay, I'm gonna put it in a couple places, but I really want to keep it concentrated to this realm because I want to go into more of the fine art realm with this particular piece. Do you categorize your art that way sometimes as well?
Yeah, I think I do. But for me, I it's like I end up trying to do too much, and when I should narrow it down. Like chairs, bags, shirts, mugs, prints, this, that, and I need to narrow. I can do it all, but I can't do that all. I can't do all of that.
Yeah, it's like some pieces I just was like, okay, I don't need this everywhere. I need you on some canvas and on some
right. Like I just recently did a Fred Hampton piece. It's behind me.
I've been looking at the whole conversation.
And that someone commissioned me to do that, and then I would put this on shirts, this and that, but it's only that, and I only have 5 limited edition prints, and they are all gone, and that's it.
I think that's a gangster move right there. To be honest, I think sometimes art benefits from rarity. Just coming from the comics industry, the lack of rarity, the reason why books aren't as valuable anymore. So, and then I also look at streetwear, like Supreme. They do that all the time. All these streetwear guys, they're like, "Hey, we only gonna put out so much of this, and then it's up." But then we'll say, "Hey, we're gonna put out a whole bunch of." Like some more, the more, I guess commercial graphical type art, like something that you could do real quick, or something it's going to be dope, but it's going to be a sketchbook or something like that. How do you break that down in your business mind? Like, how do you go about constructing like the setup for that, the infrastructure for that?
The sale.
Not just the sales, but when you're doing like for me, when I'm in the creation process, I'm like, okay, I think this is going to be on everything. Okay, no, we're just going to do some limiteds on this one. Even as I'm starting or before I finish, I pretty much figured out where it's going to live. Is that kind of how you figure it, or?
I think as when I create, always I'm like, this gonna be on this, and this. I'm gonna be doing shirts or that. I think for example, for that one, as I was creating it, it was so beautiful, and I just said, you know what, this has to be like a limited edition. Everyone can't have. I think it's emotional. And it probably shouldn't be. I know better than that. Business shouldn't be based on emotion. But at this point, it's kind of emotional. And I shouldn't say that, but it's as I'm creating it, that determines whether or not I'm going to put it everywhere or limit it.
But isn't that fair though? I mean, isn't that a fair thing?
It should be. So when you in business, particularly trying to sell art, okay, we're going to be real. It should be based on the demand of your clients. What they want, or your target audience is what they want is what you should do. It should not be based on your emotions. This is for selling art.
Right.
Right? But I don't do that. I know what I'm supposed to do, but I be like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Everybody can't have access to this,
That and I know where you're coming from, but I think that may also be a determining factor in that. That's kind of like that is the X factor, that emotion.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I can't be like, oh, Dreama. I know I've made some decisions like, yeah, I don't think too many people see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In fact, I know I specifically have a series of art where I don't really put it out on everything. It's pricing and it's pricing. Everything is based off of this record. That is a one of one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that artists should consider, because I think our initial response is mass production. Right?
Yeah, always mass production. But then when you get to creating it, it becomes special. Yeah.
And you just have to kind of work your way to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
Dreama, really enjoy talking with you today. And social media. How can people get a hold of you? Because they got to get a hold of you. They got to see your art. They
can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Dream Design Arts with plural with an S at the end. Okay. My Facebook is also Dream Design Arts plural.
Okay. All right. Will you be having any gallery shows coming up anytime soon, or is that kind of something that's still further?
It's kind of up in the air because of COVID. I have something that I'm supposed to be doing in September, but we'll see how it goes. I'm supposed to be presenting at Pancakes and Booze. They have it. It's in Chicago at a place called Reggie's. That's the only one I have on the table right now. But we'll see how it goes because of COVID.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. And I'm hoping to be back in Chicago, my second comic book home, convention home, starting back in 2022 with C2E2. So that's the hope and prayer. Anyway, so hopefully see you there. And
okay.
But definitely, once again, I just want to thank you for coming on and talking with me, and kind of going inside baseball and just kind of really, I think we had a good conversation.
Yeah.
I think we did. But guys,
thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Guys, if you know the drill. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. The likes are the lifeblood of these channels. So please like it. Let the YouTube algorithm know. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and help the Foresight Podcast Network grow. You guys want to get a hold of me? IG, Instagram is at DKG72. Twitter and what am I talking about? Facebook fan page and TikTok is David Gordon 72. The link to the Patreon is below if you want to support the channel, as well as links to all of the books and merch that we sell. So with that being said, guys, once again, please go support Miss Dreama. She is a beautiful, beautiful artist. And she is killing it. The artwork is great. You see Fred Hampton in the background. Look, Look, y'all know how to squeeze close up the friend by itself.
Yeah,
Yeah, look, just show us the chairman real quick, because I think they need to see.
How do I? Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this.
There we go. Look at that. Like, for real. Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Come on. So, can they purchase off of your website, prints, and all that type of stuff?
My website is dreamdesignarts.com.
Dreamdesignarts.com. Go visit. Go support. That's how all of us grow. So, guys, again, Dream, appreciate you. It's your boy DKG72, better known as David Gordon. This is Sports Act Podcast, and holla at y'all later. Peace.